The horrible split within England's second royal family, the Beckhams Worsens. But first, the Rocket Man has been given a rocket by an angry bride-to-be, who says that the global pop superstar Sir Elton John destroyed her bachelorette party, more commonly known as hen parties or hens parties, outside of North America. Now, Elton has a lavish $30 million mansion in the south of France. That's right, that's not even his main home. His holiday apartment is worth $30 million. And that's what being a globally renowned hitmaker will buy you. In fact, the house is so lavish, it's known as the Yellow Palace. Originally, it was pink, but the very salubrious Elton decided that was garish and he wanted yellow. But now he's yellow with fear because he's in hot water with a very, very angry young woman preparing for her marriage. So here's the story. Elton John booked a table at the eye-wateringly expensive La Guérite Restaurant and Beach Club. It's on the Ile Sainte-Marguerite in Cannes in the south of France. It's a lavish place. There's a waiting list for months. And it's one of those places that does haute cuisine, which means the more money you spend, the less food you get. And it's $100 for a single shrimp. And perhaps a couple of shaves of parmesan, if you're lucky. So this is a globally renowned restaurant and everyone wants to be there, including this lovely bride-to-be and her girlfriends. Good luck to her. You know, normally you only get married once. So the bachelorette party, the hen do, that's a very special rite of passage. But unfortunately, Elton's needs appear to have superseded the needs of this young woman. Because what's happened is that Elton booked a table at this restaurant. They got so excited, they go, oh, je ne crois, c'est incroyable. Je ne crois pas. Le Elton John du Rocket Man, oui. Bien sûr, candle in the wind. A candle dans du vent. So, they got very excited. Obviously, Sir Elton John is quite provably one of the most famous men on the planet and arguably one of the most accomplished. So if EJ calls you and says, hello, this is Elton John, and I'm looking for a really good table for lunch, and don't give me a rubbish table, or I'll have one of my famous diva hissy fits. So Elton books a table. They get excited. And what they do is they close half the restaurant. Because that's what happens when you're Sir Elton John. He must wonder, he's like, why are there always empty tables around me? It's because they clear the room for you, EJ. Because you're a global superstar, there aren't many people that are on that level. I wonder who is on that level. So Paul McCartney, perhaps. Tom Cruise, most definitely. Former presidents, that sort of thing. It's a handful of people that will have a restaurant cleared for your arrival. So what they've done is the restaurant have created a sort of private area. And what this meant is that the booking of this group of young women who were celebrating their best friend's forthcoming wedding was cancelled. Elton has thrown those girls under the bus. They were planning a night of drinks, some great food, maybe a nightclub afterwards, bit of a boogie. And although they booked the restaurant back in May, they received an abrupt call from the restaurant, from a concierge at the restaurant going, hello, madame, tant pis, very bad news for you, I'm afraid. La cancellation de votre table demain parce que Sir Elton John, can you feel the love tonight? Il est là et vous pouvez manger à McDonald's tomorrow. You can go to McDonald's. Au revoir. Adieu. À bientôt. Go away. Don't be so annoying. So that's it. These poor girls, absolutely devastated. Not only did they book the table months ago, they've been planning this bachelorette party for the best part of a year. So excited. Little did they know that the bespectacled piano-playing genius that is Elton John, formerly known as Reginald Kenneth Dwight, would usurp their plans. So they get the call the day before. And what's happened is that Elton went for lunch with his best friend, David Walliams, who is a British comedian, best-selling children's author, and he was on a TV show called Britain's Got Talent. Now, we know about America's Got Talent, Canada's Got Talent, Australia's Got Talent, Afghanistan has got talent. That's my favourite of the franchises. All those, I mean, it's hard. I don't think I'm not going to talk about Afghanistan's Got Talent because, you know, and I like a bit of edgy humour, but even I'll cancel myself if I speculate what the acts would be on Afghanistan's Got, I don't know, like a sort of Taliban pop group with, you know, they're on stage with a load of military equipment inherited from the Americans, and all they do is just get the Kalashnikovs out and sing along to ABBA. Ooh, dancing queen, young and sweet, only 17. Right, who knows? I said I wouldn't go there, and thank goodness I didn't go there. And what about the women on Afghanistan's Got Talent? Be hard to know who's performing is all I'm going to say. Let's leave it there. Let's not get cancelled. We're having far too much success on the Mark Dolan show to talk about Afghanistan's Got Talent. There wouldn't be any women on that show because it is now in the hands of a horrific misogynistic cult. There you go. There you go. Right, we've got to talk about this. It's absolutely huge. By the way, England's second royal family, the Beckhams, in turmoil. It is devastating. It's devastating what David and Victoria are going through as a result of their cheeky, spoiled, runaway son, Brooklyn Beckham. Does that ring any bells? Does that sound familiar to you? Rich, privileged son who thinks he's got a miserable life in England, marrying a pushy American and turning against his own family. Does that sound familiar? Oh, I just can't wait for my lunch. No one said sit there. No one said sit there. I'm going to the chef's table and I'm going to have a chicken Kiev. Ooh, ooh. Right. So David Walliams is this comedian who's best mates with Elton. And I know David, he's a very nice guy. He's a very talented man, very prolific. Cannot lie. Children's author, comedian, and TV host, and a lovely guy. Dry sense of humour. I'm a fan. So he and Elton, and I think they share, David's straight, but he and Elton have a very camp humour when they're together. Anyway, the issue is that they're having the lunch together and the hen party are cancelled. David Walliams, understandably, goes on Instagram to celebrate his lunch with Elton and just saying, you know, had a great time with my best mate. And underneath his Instagram post, talking about his lunch with the Rocket Man, the bride-to-be lashes out at the comedian and says, I hope you enjoyed la guérite dans la France du Sud. Our reservation, she said, was cancelled for my best friend's... Oh, no, it's not the bride-to-be. Sorry, forgive me. The bride's friend. So she writes on Instagram, hope you enjoyed la guérite. Our reservation was cancelled for my best friend's hen-do bachelorette party due to your semi-private event. Ouch! She added, we booked our table in May, didn't think it would be cancelled with 24 hours of notice. Her claim was backed up by another woman who wrote, so bad, isn't it? We flew here especially for our friend's bachelorette party, for the hens do. Now, the woman's comments were penned under a post shared by Walliams, as I say, parading his lovely lunch with Elton John. No problem. I think they had quite an amusing lunch. At one point, Whitney Houston's I Want to Dance with Somebody came on. I want to dance with somebody. I want to feel the heat with somebody. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, Elton's feeling the heat now because these girls aren't happy. They're absolutely devastated about this. And we do not know, the Mark Dolan show's done inquiries, and we don't know whether Elton is aware that this group saw their cancellation happen. I'm going to tell you, having been a keen student of the life and work of Elton John since I was about 11, and it was the specialist subject that I took on a English TV show called Mastermind. I didn't come last. It's a miracle. I beat a newsreader. What a stroke of luck that was. But I was on Mastermind, and my specialist subject was the life and work of Sir Elton John. And so I know this guy inside out. He's a very generous and lovely man. And I'm going to suggest there is not a cat's hello. There is not a cat's hell in chance that the Rocket Man, that this bespectacled piano-playing genius, knew anything about the cancellation of a hen's party of a bachelorette. There's no way that Elton would be a party pooper. Elton makes parties, he doesn't break them. The man is a walking party. He's a born entertainer and a nice man and a philanthropist. So I don't think he knew. But what I think he does need to do is he needs to reimburse those girls for their flights, because they flew from England to France for this posh lunch. And in the end, they went to a very posh restaurant in the south of France called Le Burger King. C'est très très délicieux, de la viande, le hamburger avec du fromage, le salade, le tomate, beaucoup de tomates. So he should offer to pay for their flights, or basically just say, look, here's $5,000. Go and have a party wherever you want. Lots of love, Elton. That's what he should do. And the other thing he needs to do, I'll tell you what he needs to do, plus a crisis in England's second royal family, the Beckhams, after a brief word from our sponsors. Are you sick of biased news? Well, so am I. And that's why every morning, with my big cup of decaf in my Father's Day mug that I actually bought for myself, I read Ground News. It shows how stories are covered differently by the left, the right and the centre. Take this one, for example, President Donald Trump's tariff crusade. Some outlets say that he's mad and is wrecking the economy. Others say that he's standing up for American jobs and will triumph. Well, Ground News shows both sides and lets you decide, because it turns out you've got a brain! Who knew? So try Ground News. Go to ground.news/Dolan or click the link below. You will get a 40% off discount from the Vantage plan. 40% off for the plan that I use for unlimited access. It is a game-changing way to consume the news. And more importantly, it will make you sound very clever at dinner parties. Ground News is subscriber funded. No billionaire overlords pulling the strings. Just the unvarnished truth from every angle. What's not to like? That is ground.news/Dolan. I'll drink to that. I'll tell you what Elton's got to do. He's got to perform at her wedding. And he's got to sing. Sorry seems to be the hardest word. What have I gotta do? What have I gotta do? Sorry seems to be the hardest word. Ooh, sorry seems to be the hardest word. Na 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 na. Right, that's what he's got to do. He's got to go there. He's also going to sing "Kiss the Bride." I want to kiss the bride. Yep. A lot of Elton, a lot of wedding-based Elton John songs. Who knew? So that's it, folks. Can you feel the groom tonight? That's what he's got to do, and that's how he makes amends. Come on, Elton, do it. He is a very wealthy man, by the way. He's got an extraordinary life now he's retired. He's got houses. He's got a house in Beverly Hills in central London. That's his little bolt hole, which obviously worth millions. He's got the south of France estate, $30 million. Probably the song Crocodile Rock paid for that one. And a sprawling estate in Windsor that he's had since the 70s is called Woodside, built by Henry VIII for one of his mistresses. So it's always been a naughty house. It's had naughty ladies in it for naughty kings. And now it's got naughty Elton, who's in a world of trouble. He is famous for his temper, by the way. He does have a furious temper. He was on, they did a documentary called Tantrums and Tiaras. And at one point, they left his jacket in a taxi when he was recording a pop video. And he said, that's it. Send the car. I'm going. I don't make videos. I make music. That's it. I've had enough. And they're like, oh, don't worry, Elton. The car's going to be here in 5 minutes. Not going to be here in effing 5 minutes. We're in the centre of Manhattan. It's going to take half an hour. I'm not doing it. So he's a bit like that. And very amusingly, when he was in the south of France in that documentary, at one point he's playing tennis with his tennis coach. He travels with his tennis coach. How the other half live. He's also got he's got flowers in every house. So wherever he goes in the world, he comes into a house full of flowers. And at one point, it was alleged that he was spending $100,000 a month on flowers. He was asked about this in court, and he said, "Yes, I like flowers." No apology. But you know what? Why should he? He pays his taxes, and he's given us a lot of entertainment. But on this occasion, he was playing tennis, and someone shouted "Yoo-hoo" at him, at which point he stormed off the tennis court, got into the lift, and ordered his assistant to commandeer a private jet to get him out of the south of France. And he said, "I'm never coming here again. I'm never coming here to the south of France," because someone shouted "Yoo-hoo" at him. But that's EJ. That's this mercurial character. Who cares? The man's a genius. I'll tell you who's also a genius is David Beckham, who is the head of England's second royal family, the Beckhams. So David and Victoria Beckham, David, a global sporting icon, and now a knight of the realm, Sir David Beckham, and Lady Victoria Beckham, who's an international pop star and fashion queen. She's got an amazingly successful fashion house, and of course, she sold in the region of 50, 75 million records with the Spice Girls. So David and Victoria Beckham are a brand. They're extraordinary. They love their kids. They have family values. They're just decent people. And they are England's second royal family, unquestionably. And they're said to be facing fresh anguish after details surfaced about their son Brooklyn's emotional vow renewal to his wife, Nicola Peltz. Now, we talked about this on a previous show. The parallels between Harry and Meghan and Brooklyn and Nicola are, well, it's not just parallels. It's a mirror image. It's identical. It's exactly the same thing. So what happened is that Brooklyn made the mistake of falling in love with an ambitious, rather potentially manipulative young American woman called Nicola Peltz. She's a good-looking girl. She is the daughter of Nelson Peltz, who is quite conveniently a billionaire, an American billionaire who owns shares in the Wendy Burger, which is based upon the intel of the Mark Dolan show, Prince Harry's favorite US burger chain. He loves Wendy's. He loves the Wendy Burger. And I'm told it's the Baconator. I love the Baconator. It's really yummy, Humpy dumpy dumpy dump. Prince Harry, world's least happy millionaire. Humpy dumpy dumpy dump. Baconator, go, go, go. So, Nelson Peltz is a rich man. It is quite good if you've got families, like let's say you're rich and your son gets married. It's kind of handy if your son marries a rich girl, isn't it? Because then they're not after your money. It's like McCartney. McCartney is married. Hello, I'm Paul McCartney, from the Beatles, Peace and Love, And Paul McCartney, who's well over 80 now, but still a great rocker, Come together right now over me. Oh, I'm Paul McCartney when I wrote Hey Jude, Hey Jude. McCartney married Nancy, a lady called Nancy, and she's a multimillionaire. So it's very smart of McCartney to marry a rich woman because she's not after his money. And by the way, he used to be married to the lovely and late and great Linda McCartney. What a stunning woman she was. Linda McCartney was heir to the Kodak fortune. Do you remember the camera company Kodak and the Kodak camera film? Does that demonstrate, by the way, how transient success is? Because when I was a kid, Kodak was the brand. Kodak cameras, Kodak film. Do you remember how expensive the film was for the cameras? You could get like 24 images or 32. No, 36. I think it's 24 or 36. And they'd cost quite a lot of money, like maybe $5 for a roll of film of 24 images or 36. And then you'd get them developed and that would cost you another $10, $15, $20. Oh my God, I used to take photographs very carefully because otherwise you're wasting your money. So Kodak were huge. And lovely Linda McCartney, fabulous. Linda Eastman was her maiden name, and she and Paul fell in love. She's basically, the equivalent of a billionairess at the time. That was perfect for McCartney. He's a Beatle. She's a billionairess. By the way, so Kodak now, gone. I mean, forget it. They can't afford to sponsor the Mark Dolan show. By the way, so many sponsors coming on board, all thanks to you and the extraordinary media revolution that we're building. So thank you for that. And do check out the Ground News. Excellent for a balance in terms of news. That's what we need. We need to come together, don't we? Not be at war with each other and in our little pockets, our tribes. On the Mark Dolan show, we're allowed to disagree with each other. Ground.news/Dolan, you're welcome. So they got married. Oh, so yeah, McCartney married lovely Linda. She got cancer. They had a load of kids together. That she got cancer. Tragic. And isn't it funny? All the money in the world, but they couldn't. That disease claimed her life. And no doubt their unlimited budget for doctors and treatment. But she's gone. It's so sad. And I do think she was a stunning woman, Linda. But yeah, so and he's married Nancy, who's rich as well. So that's fine. There's no conflict of interest, is there? And it's perfect for Brooklyn and Nicola. They're both rich, powerful families. So money's not a problem. And I would no doubt guess that both of their respective fortunes are protected if and when they split, which inevitably they will, because it's just as dysfunctional as Harry and Meghan. So what Brooklyn did, he fell in love with Nicola, and then they got married, and Nicola made the disastrous mistake of not wearing one of Victoria Beckham's gowns at the wedding. I mean, folks, I need some help with this. If your mother-in-law is a famous dress designer, you're getting married, you wear the dress. It's your mother-in-law is a dress designer. You wear the dress. But no, she didn't. So poor Victoria, who I think is also a stunning woman, by the way, a very elegant lady. I saw her in a petrol station once. I'm not making up. I really did. And she looked at me and she put a grape in her mouth in a rather suggestive way. And when the grape made its way through her body, she's so thin, I thought it might be a bit like when a snake swallows a sheep. I thought there might be a massive bulge, see the outline of the grape as it passes through her rather talented esophagus. But no, she just she looked at me and gave me a little half smile. It was pleasant. And Victoria, more beautiful in real life, I would say. I think she takes a good photograph, but really, really beautiful woman in real life. So there you go. That's Victoria, right? And then David, of course, is an Adonis. What a handsome man. He is a fine and a lovely guy. Charity work. He represents this country so well. I've been battling for him to get a knighthood for years now, considering some of the outrageous losers, phonies, shysters, and has-beens who become knights of the realm. But he deserves it, and then some. So they reaffirmed their marriage vows, as I mentioned on the show. There's a whole special about it. If you haven't seen it, check it out. And it's the most absurd thing. They've been married, what a pair of spoiled brats, married 3 years. They renewed their vows, right? What have they achieved in 3 years? They've left Britain, which is Brooklyn's country of birth. He now is not on speaking terms with his family. He did not acknowledge his father when he got his knighthood. He did not acknowledge his father when it was Father's Day. He did not acknowledge his father when he turned 50. So he's done exactly what Meghan did to poor old Thomas Markle. So it's quite outrageous. And now we've got a new development on the story. Of course, I don't want to speak ill of Nicola Peltz Beckham because maybe it's all Brooklyn's fault, but I kind of look at what happens to people if they marry the wrong person. And since when Brooklyn Beckham, before Nicola, he was so close to his family and he had his little projects. He's got a cooking sauce and did his photography and stuff like that. He's a creative guy, Brooklyn, sweet kid, bit of modeling, that kind of thing. He tried to be productive because the Beckhams, they believe in the work ethic. They don't want Nepo babies. And they expect them to work for a living because they both did, which is brilliant. But the bottom line is that since they got married, that's it. He hates his family and he lives in another country and they're not on speaking terms. Who else do you blame but Nicola? Who is, when Nelson passes, which is hopefully many years from now, she's going to inherit. She will inherit a significant number of shares in the Wendy Burger, at which point she'll probably get a call from Prince Harry going, hello, Nicola. I hope you don't mind me calling you, but I've got loads of time on my hands, because, I don't have a job. My wife doesn't talk to me anymore. And
The charity that I co-founded in memory of my mother, Princess Diana Centibale, is a smoking ruin of a charity and a public relations dumpster fire. So I've got quite a lot of time on my hands. I understand you got some shares in the Wendy Burger. I love Wendy's. I love the Wendy Burger. Do you think you could get me a discount on the Baconator and fries? It's only because I'm flat broke now because I haven't got a job, you see. And I've already used up the meal ticket, which is my family connections. So no one wants spare two. And the Netflix deal is a fake deal. It's fake news because all we're really doing is offering shows to Netflix that they're going to say no to. And there isn't a season 3 of With Love Megan. So do you think I could have a discount on a Baconator? Please, please, don't make me cry. Humpy dumpy dumpy dump. Best wishes, Prince Harry, world's least happy millionaire.
I don't know why I struggle with saying those words, considering I might have sent them once or twice before. Poor old Harry. So the latest, these pair of idiots, Nicola and Brooklyn, having renewed their vows after 3 years, which is, by the way, as you told me in the comments of the previous video, that's a sign of a marriage on the rocks already, right? That is the Shakespearean thing. He doth protest us too much. If people trying to convince you that they're so happy, it means they're not happy. Virginia Woolf, the wonderful English author, said a perfectly adjusted human being would be silent, which obviously doesn't speak well for me if you consider what I do for a living. Although I will say, when I'm on my own, I'm very quiet. Mrs. Dolan will tell you, I'm very quiet. And I have what they describe in the United States as a resting bitch face. Are you familiar with the resting bitch face? What that means is, it means that when someone's just on their own and not smiling, they kind of look furious. They're not furious, but they just look furious. And here's my, would you like to see my resting bitch face? Okay, one sec. Here we go. Get ready for it. It's not everyone's cup of tea. I tell you what, I certainly think the old Nicola Peltz Beckham has got a resting bitch face. I don't know why I'm spelling it now. I've already used an expletive on a family show, which is normally very clean. I don't know what they've done. It's my flower sprinkles. It's affected my mind. Megan's flower sprinkles. My flower sprinkles. Just for the record, I consider the flower sprinkles to be hallucinogenic, toxic, and people aren't supposed to eat flowers. Right. So these idiots have renewed their vows after 3 years, which means the marriage is dead. Right? You celebrate your blinking nuptials. You know, you renew the vows after 50 years or after some drama of something after, you know, you've got a few miles on the clock. Anyway, according to reports, Brooklyn used his speech not to speak about what Victoria and David did for him, which is bring him into the world, love him, give him untold privilege, and make him an immediate millionaire, because when you're born to the Beckhams, you are an instant millionaire. No, not a squeak for David and Victoria and everything that they've done for him and the lovely siblings. No. Nah. Brooklyn used his speech to speak movingly about his wife and to praise her family. A source told The Mirror, which is great for showbiz exclusives, he spoke straight from the heart, and at the center of it all was Nicola, who he loves so much. But he also paid tribute to the Peltz family, who have stood firmly by him. He wanted to do right by them all. Why is he doing right by them? That's not his family. Yes, it's his in-laws and it's his inherited family. But your own family comes first, because blood is thicker than water. The allegedly touching remarks about billionaire Nelson Peltz, who owns shares in the
Wendy Burger,
and his wife Claudia, have reportedly deepened the pain for the Beckhams, as Brooklyn did not extend the same kind of tribute for his own parents. No, they got nothing. They got nada. They got nichts. Beyond his immediate family, Brooklyn's wider relatives, including grandparents, uncles, aunts, and cousins, were also absent and not mentioned. No, he's got grandparents, folks. They won't be there forever, and he's cut them off. And they don't get so much as a mention at this absurd renewal of the vows ceremony. Many of the family members, the Beckhams, only discovered the renewal had taken place by reading about it in the newspaper and no doubt hearing about it on the Mark Dolan show. And how hilarious. It's been reported that Brooklyn feels heartbroken at how Nicola is being portrayed as the villain in this ongoing rift. Nicola has faced accusations of isolating Brooklyn from both his friends and family. Whoa! No sugar, Sherlock! Insiders argue this is unfair, insisting that Brooklyn makes his own choices. Well, it's exactly like Harry and Meghan. Who do you blame? The criticism of Nicola is steeped in misogyny, apparently. Oh, yeah, that's what it is. It's not the fact that she turned Brooklyn against his own family. So he can't even send his father a WhatsApp on the day that he becomes Sir David Beckham, which is a miracle for a working class figure like Beckham to have achieved that. Everyone blames her, but Brooklyn is a grown man and capable of deciding for himself. Nicola would have accepted whatever he wanted. It breaks his heart to see her painted as some kind of manipulative vixen. Now, according to reports, David and Victoria remain uneasy about Nicola's influence, and so they should. One insider claimed they think Nicola can be difficult, but she's not going anywhere. She loves Brooklyn deeply, but having him by her side is also very useful. The Beckhams and Brooklyn's old friends feel he largely goes along with whatever Nicola wants. Does that sound familiar to you?
Whatever Meghan wants, Meghan gets. Whatever Meghan wants, Meghan gets.
That was the mantra in the disgusting and egregious run-up to Harry and Meghan's nuptials. So it's a shocking thing. I'm devastated for David and Victoria. And to find out that there were moving speeches at the vow renewal that made no mention David, Victoria, the siblings, the grandparents, the cousins, the uncles, no apparent invitation, and no acknowledgement, and instead lavish praise for the Peltzes and for Claudia, glamorous Claudia, dripping in jewellery in their $100 million South Beach ranch, which makes Elton's Yellow Palace look like a frigging shed by comparison, okay? Elton's Yellow Palace in Cannes is like, it's like a kind of migrant camp compared to the lavishness of the Peltz's estate. And yet, no, it's all Nelson, Claudia. Brooklyn, Nicola. That boy's under the spell of that woman. I feel sorry for him, but I especially feel sorry for the Beckhams. Folks, it's been so great to talk. Cannot wait for the next video. We, of course, have another conversation tomorrow. Please subscribe if you haven't, because it allows the videos to get out to more people, and it means you're alerted when I do a surprise video. And also, please like and subscribe, because then YouTube notices that it's been liked and subscribed and all of that stuff. And then it sends the video out to more people who can then be exposed to my spectacular truth bombs, which are absolutely critical for our collective well-being. Yes, there are times when we all need to share a little pain. See you tomorrow, when ironing out the rough spots is the hardest part, where memories remain. Kick inside is in the light that finally gets to you. And it feels so good to hurt so bad and suffer just enough to sing the blues. Turn 'em on, turn 'em on, turn on those sad songs.